Hi everyone, this is Dylan again from Dylan's Reptile Time. Hope you're all doing okay. We're going to have a look at another type of lizard today, and it's quite a cool little lizard called a gecko. So this is Leon the leopard gecko. Let's get Leon out. Here he is. So Leon, he's a leopard gecko. Geckos are found all over the world where it's quite warm. There's about 1,500 different types of gecko out there, so they're the most represented of all the lizards. There's quite a few of them. This particular one, he comes from Afghanistan, Pakistan, northern India, places like that. And why do you think he's called a leopard gecko? That's right, because he's a spotty like a leopard. So if you look at his body, it's got this yellow background with these dark spots. And that looks exactly like the ground where he lives. So it's really good camouflage. It makes him harder to be spotted by birds and things flying over that might want to eat him. And the males, they get a little bit bigger than the females. This one's probably about as big as it'll get. Some lizards, some geckos though are tiny. So the dwarf gecko is about that big. So it's like 1.5 centimeters long. It's tiny. And most geckos, they're known for having really special feet. So if you look at a gecko's feet close up, they've got these rows of really tiny hairs that allow them to grip onto walls and trees, and they can just climb up walls. This one though doesn't have the right trainers on, so he spends all of his time on the floor. And a lot of people that live where geckos are from, they quite like them in their house because they keep the insects down. So they don't mind having a gecko in the corner, just keep the moths and the mosquitoes away. And a lot of, well, this one's got eyelids, but a lot of geckos, they don't have any eyelids. This one can blink to get the dust out of his eyes. But other geckos, like crested geckos with no eyelids, have to lick their own eyes. Can you do that? No, I can't do it. Yeah, so they use their tongue, a bit like a windscreen wiper, to wipe their eyes, keep their eyes clean. And on a sunny day, the leopard gecko, you can actually see through one ear to the other. So if you hold him up to the light, you can actually look through his head on a sunny day. It's a bit like me. I told you, yeah, it's exactly like me. Now, if you have a look at Leon's tail, so leopard gecko's tails, they're quite chunky. So they can actually store fat inside their tail. So a bit like a camel's hump. So when there's not much food around, they can use those fat reserves in their tail to survive a bit longer. So they can go a few days without eating if they need to. And they're nocturnal, so they come out at night time. They spend most of the day down in their burrows, hiding from the really hot sun. But at night time, they come out looking for things to eat. And their eyesight's really good, so it's a bit cat-like. So it's really sharp, and they can see things quite clearly in the dark. And like a lot of reptiles, they lay eggs. So this one lays like little tiny eggs. And like a lot of reptiles as well, whether they're a boy or a girl is determined by how hot or cold the eggs are. So yeah, with leopard geckos, if the temperature is above a certain amount, they're all boys. And if it's below a certain amount, they're all girls. And other reptiles are the same, but sometimes it's the other way around. If they're too cold, they're boys. They're too hot, they're girls. It's a bit weird, isn't it? And they shed their skin, so a bit like a snake does. They come off in little bit patches, mainly, sometimes all in one go. But leopard geckos, they eat their skin. And they mainly eat their skin so that it stops predators from tracking them down. It gets rid of their scent. They just swallow their old skin. And they're the only lizards, I think, that can actually make a noise. They can actually bark. Yeah, so most lizards don't make a noise. Geckos bark or do a little call to attract their mates. Right, so that was Leon, the leopard gecko. Say bye, Leon. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back soon with another animal. Cheers.